Hey everyone, this is Mike Bruce with Life Starts with Food Health Coaching, and I am here with my buddy Mark Ritz. He's a friend of mine that I met through Instagram, so not everything about social media is bad. So he's one of those guys, you shoot him a question and he's on it. He loves to help people, he loves to serve people. Any of you guys that follow me might know a company called ritzfit.com. He had Ritzfit, still has Ritzfit on for his handle for Instagram. But Mark Ritz had a company that was, it was kind of like a boutique version of Thrive Market, which with even better quality stuff. He vetted every single thing that came through. And now he's hooked up with another person that I've been acquainted with online in different ways. Sylvia Tabor, Tabor,
yeah.
Tabor, yeah. She goes by Biohacking Chick on Instagram. So Sylvia came up with a product called Carnivore Snax, and she's a carnivore diet due to many, many health issues she's had over the years. And this is like the one thing that truly helped her is going meat only. So Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about how you and Sylvia got hooked up.
Yeah, man. Well, appreciate the kind introduction. My journey through my obsession with the cleanliness of food and quality and sourcing has definitely changed over the years. But you're right. 4 years ago, I started ritzfit.com, and it's evolved. I mean, I always felt like as long as you focused on sourcing and ingredients, that like anytime you ate food, you could feel good about the choices that you made. And a lot of that takes some really in-depth education on how to read labels, on understanding what greenwashing, is, which is heavily involved in the meat industry, which we'll probably get into a little bit. But as I was running that business, and it was getting a little bit more popular, it never really took off. People would reach out to me, different companies would reach out to me, and the natural product space just seemed to get even more and more diluted with just gimmicky marketing and stuff. And it was taking a lot of a huge toll on me to find those products and to make sure that things were just being done right and to my standard, and it really got wearing. So basically, I kind of just decided that it wasn't for me because, there was some business stuff behind the scenes where, the companies were shipping the products and I really had no control over that. And I just want to have control over my own members and customers. So, and I felt really good about carnivore because I started to turn to meat. Mm-hmm. And I felt, I tried the carnivore diet out for 30 days and got the best physical results of my entire life.
That's so common.
Oh, yeah. It's insane. And, people can argue that any diet or whatnot can really make a huge impact in the first 30 to 60 days or whatever. But, it really is all about self-awareness and how you feel. And it felt amazing to me, and it worked. And, I noticed that a lot of the products that I was obsessed with coming on Ritzfit still contained, a ton of ingredients that were trustworthy. And I just felt like, if I eliminated a ton of those, like I just feel a little bit better. So, I'm not a 100% carnivore. I do follow it about 90% of my caloric intake is carnivore. I became really passionate about it. And me and Sylvia, we've known each other for 5 years. She was the first person I ever met on Instagram when I opened up my account and started to get into the natural space. So yeah, we can kind of enter that story.
She has a unique ability to, everybody knows her on Instagram. And I don't know how, because she might go months without posting a single thing. And then she's still completely in contact with everybody somehow, which it's really cool. And she's really accessible. Something I didn't mention about you that is still very, very prevalent and a very good source. Your podcast you had was a No Diet podcast. Whether you're carnivore, paleo, just clean dieting and in general, clean lifestyle, you have amazing content on there. Is that still accessible for people?
Yeah, I left it up there for sure. And it's funny that it was called the No Diet Podcast. And now we've created a product really for carnivores.
And which is one of the only ones out there, right? Yeah. Unless you call pork rinds.
Right.
Which I do. I love pork rinds, but this is a food product that you've created to really actually help somebody that's a carnivore dieter.
Yeah.
make it through a day if they can't find a healthy place to eat.
Yeah, and I mean, the keto community, the paleo community are on top of this product. It's insanity, man. The buzz is amazing. It's just really hard. Coming back to the Ritz Fit thing, it is really hard to make a product with 2 ingredients, and that's what we have done. We pay a premium for that.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, if you're using less ingredients, how's that a premium? Well, because there's processing in the food industry that allows you to make food at scale to keep costs down. There's a lot more manual labor in creating a product with minimal ingredients.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. I'm learning a ton. Creating my own product.
And how did Sylvia come up with this? Because this isn't just like, she didn't just put meat in a dehydrator, right? She has a little process that she does that's, from what I understand is, and we don't have to go through the whole process because I'm sure it's a little bit of her own thing and your own thing, but it's not just jerky.
Yeah, no, God, no. See, the problem for carnivores is that they're married to their ribeyes. They love them. Who doesn't love a ribeye? But how can you take them on the go?
Yeah.
I think a lot of carnivores, especially when it started to get real hot, you would find carnivores are really interested in fasting. And now there's a lot of compelling data about how fasting is really not that great when, it activates the stress hormone. And it's like, how are you mitigating your stress hormones and whatnot? So, I mean, fasting works for some, fasting doesn't work for others. And I think a lot of carnivores turn to fasting because it's such a strict diet. It's so hard to travel and stay committed to that. And so for her, it was like, okay, how do I create something that meets those ingredient standards of just meat and salt? That's what everybody loves in the carnivore diet, meat and salt, that is legal to sell, that is food safe. And, we'll address those concerns later. So, it did start in her kitchen. And I mean, in terms of dehydrating meat, that's where she started with her experimentation. But it took a year to figure out where she wanted to, how she wanted to slice the meat, exactly how thin, and then figuring out how to. Because let me tell you something about a dehydrator. It might sound easy to just do something like this at home. It is not food safe. It is actually very dangerous.
Fat does not store well. It does not dehydrate well. Nothing about fat is good in the dehydrator.
Right.
That's not shelf stable.
Correct. Now there's specific temperatures that are required and utilized by the USDA in a validation method. So these are documented validations, right? If you're not adhering to a documented validation, you got to go and spend 50 grand on R&D to create a brand new validation for your own product.
Yeah.
And so it made it unique with our product because we had to try to figure out how to create the same thing and see if we could use an already proven validation method without making a jerky. And it took a ton of time and we figured it out.
Man. And something like your previous, like you said before we even got on, your previous failure was the biggest success of your life, because you made those connections in the food industry already with the natural food industry that you knew you had. I'm sure you had mentors you could reach out to and say, hey, who guide me in the right direction on this one. Anybody come to mind you want to throw a thank you out there for?
James Conley was my first mentor. He's still a really good mentor. He's really heavily involved in the regenerative agriculture space now. Co-producing Sacred Cow with Diana Rogers. So those are two people that I really look up to a lot. But I mean, I love talking business, and for anybody out there, like, I worked for Costco Wholesale for 11 years, and I was able to quit last year. Basically, you come up with this idea. I opened my computer and I just ran with it, and I learned so much in 4 years. And started a podcast, met hundreds and hundreds of people, started ritzfit.com, which again was a failure. But guess what? I brought on products to the website. So I created those relationships with all of those CEOs of those companies. And then I got really good at software and email marketing. And then all those companies that I that I helped, wanted help with email marketing. And before you know it, it's like you're building a business you don't even know that's happening, but yet you're still passionate about the food space and ingredients. And it's like, all right, so now let's create our own product. Mm-hmm. And here we are at Carnivore Snax.
Yeah. And that's really cool because I was always scared of doing anything because I was scared I would get stuck in that role. And thankfully that's changed in my life. And you were smart enough to know that at any time you can just pivot at any time, learn these things because it might benefit you later. And it has for you, which is really cool. I know at least one of the brands that you work for is a brand I love, and that you do social media and some email marketing for, and it's just terrific. So yeah, that's great, man. And so let's talk about these snacks. I have seen people, and I'm a big fan of this. So I backed your Kickstarter. You guys just started a Kickstarter on Wednesday?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is I was doing a detox protocol that I'm more than happy to say out loud, but most people get squeamish. But I was doing a specific detox protocol that involves coffee while you texted me. So I jumped on the Kickstarter and bought some like right then. And it was so cool that you put it out there. And you hit your $15,000 goal in 90 minutes. And I didn't check today, but you were over $70,000 yesterday for your Kickstarter goal.
Yeah, we the first 2 days obviously the busiest, but we're at like 75 grand right now. 77.
77.9, almost 78, man.
Yeah, so you can watch it go up. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, right. Like I believe that you guys would have a big impact on this because the people that for the amount of time I've been seeing Carnivore Snax come up over this last year, and the people who are just like, man, I can't wait to see this. People who have a lot of influence in carnivore and keto community, and they were ready to go. They were wanting this stuff, and big names. And just like you guys, you are influencers in a lot of ways, and that's a really terrific thing to be an influencer that actually cares and actually they're not just trying to be an influencer, but they want to influence positively.
Yes.
So I really enjoy that, and that's why I'm drawn to you, both of you guys. So the Carnivore Snax, man, I don't know why I dropped that down. I should bring that back up because I wanted to, like, something that cracks me up is on your Instagram page, just watching people eat these. They are blown away when they're eating these.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the Vegas right here, those guys are terrific.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I mean, they absolutely loved it. They've been on it since day one.
Yeah. So, and like, just get on their Instagram page, watch people eat them. Is that Chris Bell or that's Chris Bell? I think he's one of my favorite guys. Yeah, Mark and Chris, I love listening to those guys. They have great podcasts, great documentaries.
That's a good picture of the ribeye in the bottom left corner. The first post we ever did. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that, man. Like, to get fat that's actually shelf stable, that's unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. So I only ordered one package, but I know I'm going to order a lot more. So, and I know if you order so many, if you order like 5 of them, you guys are giving away, you're experimenting with leg of lamb.
Yeah.
So leg of lamb is like my ultimate cut of meat, period. I buy a leg of lamb from Costco and I cut it into steaks. And that's when I'm having like fattier meals, that's what I eat is leg of lamb from Costco. So
heck yeah.
I mean, it's just the best. It's like eating like a king for less than buying grass-fed meat. So, but I love, I love it all, but yeah, like, it's just really exciting to see something like this coming out because I've made my own pemmican, and you know what pemmican is.
Yep.
That's awesome. But man, you can imagine how expensive that is. And I don't think the FDA would ever allow that to be shelf stable, even though it literally is.
The Carnivore Bar was released not too long ago, and it's pemmican, and they're doing a good job. They did. We're highly supportive of them. It's, the carnivore snacking space is tough.
Sure.
Because of the limitations of being able to create a product, really, according to the USDA and whatnot. So it's just all about really going through the hoops and getting it all done. I mean, we have a unique product. It's closer to a chip. It is not. It's even been called a meat pastry, the ribeye. Yeah. Very sturdy. It's not chewy. It's airy. It's very satiating. So the unique part about our product too is we offered in a 5-ounce bag. That's the main size. So if you go to a Whole Foods and you are shopping for jerky or high-end jerky or biltong product, they're selling you 1 and 2 ounce bags typically.
I know.
And you're paying about $8 for that ounce.
Yeah.
So it looks expensive. Our product looks expensive, but when you see the size of the bag, you're like, okay, hold on a second. And then you see it's 5 ounces, and then you divide it up, and you're like, well, I'm really only paying about $5-6 an ounce. That's pretty good. $4 an ounce. I mean, there's and obviously it depends on how much you buy, but and again, it's satiating. And a 1 pound like ribeye, a 1 pound ribeye steak, that really for you should be 2 meals. And in each bag, there's basically 1 pound of ribeye.
Okay, that's good.
For me,
Yeah. So, and for a guy like me, I eat 2 meals a day. So 1 pound usually is about 1 meal. So that would be, yeah. And I know you guys are using White Oak Pastures out of Georgia, which is just one of the top guys in terms of regenerative farming. And I know you have a lot of feelings towards not just grass-fed, but actual regenerative farming, because like you were saying, the greenwashing. Can you explain what greenwashing is in terms of health food businesses?
The best actual real life example, we'll bring it up in the meat space. And there are some big companies out there that you have heard of that are doing this. And you'll see it at Costco a lot too. But New Zealand, all right, everybody likes to get their grass-fed meat from New Zealand.
Yeah.
You always like, oh, New Zealand, like a beautiful green pastures, beautiful. And they have commoditized the grass-fed industry. So, and when I say commoditized, I'm not talking about our version here in the US of agriculture where it's just all grain-fed, industrialized, and we're really just pumping, keeping that supply chain going. They've really figured out how to keep the supply chain going, and they have the land and they have all the cattle and they have a lot, right? So with their demand, it's easy for somebody in the US to call them up and say, yo, I want grass-fed meat. And then they're going to say, and I'll tell you, like, we talked to them, they're charging less than $4 a pound, like wholesale. Wow. Less than $4 a pound. So every single meat snack company, every single jerky company, all these grass-feds, like 90%, over 90% of the time, none of that meat's coming from the US. There's no support to the US farmer. Unless it's industrialized, which we don't want to support that at all. Yeah. I mean, that's directly impacting the environment in a negative way. The vegan side of eating right now is highly supportive of that agriculture. They don't even realize it.
Yeah, we could do a whole nother video on that, because I'm a big fan of regenerative agriculture. I don't support it 100% in terms of like my dollars. But if I have the choice, I do.
And we have to do the best we have to do the best we can with what we have. And if you are passionate about it, there should be, like, for me, like half of mine, when with my own income at where it was before I was choosing to go the whole regenerative route, I would get half of my steaks from Costco. And the other half, I would be making sure I was supporting regenerative as I went along on my journey. But the more and more I learned, the more I grew financially, the more I grew individually, like, I can make these decisions. And the more we can make these decisions and improve our own self, we're going to bring those costs down as regenerative agriculture becomes much more widely accepted.
Yeah.
But to finish the greenwashing, basically something that is shipped from New Zealand, if it's not processed there, okay, if it's not cut and processed there, comes over here. If we cut and process the meat, you are legally allowed to put on the label product of the USA.
No way.
That is greenwashing.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Absolutely. So some of your big brands, I'm not going to mention any names, but
you're more than, let's just mention them, because I want people to know the truth. And that's why I have a guy like you on, because you have done, I don't know anybody else that's done more research in products, in labeling, and in types of false labeling. I don't know anybody else with more information than you. That's why, like, one of the big reasons I want you on here. So please say the big names, call them out, man. I mean, like, what are they going to do? Shut me down? I'm a guy on Facebook.
I mean, there's Will Harris, the guy who, the farmer of White Oak Pastures. He did a great bit on this, and we should definitely share that link somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, I got White Oak Pastures up on the label. I forgot to pull that back down. But yeah, whiteoakpastures.com.
You got a great article on this whole greenwashing thing, and you know, big brands like ButcherBox. I mean, they say local farmers or local meat on their box, like supporting local whatever. Like, what does that mean to you when they say supporting local farmers? Like, that marketing jumps out to me and saying, I'm thinking about the local farmer down the road from where I live here in the US, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't the case. Like, they're just talking about local farmers in New Zealand where they can get their meat for $3 a pound.
Man. So it's local to somewhere else. I mean, it's always local, right?
Yeah.
Just like, what is it? It's, grass-fed, just the label grass-fed, if it doesn't say grass-fed, grass-finished, you can't be positive. I mean, and even with that, you can't be positive. It has to be 100%, but there's nobody controlling this.
Yeah, no. The grass-fed thing, no. You definitely want to look for the Grass-Fed Association, label. That's always a good sign. 100%. Yep, finished for sure.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's really nuts. And then, like for eggs and stuff, it's kind of the same thing. I'll buy local eggs even if I know they're fed soy feed, just because I prefer that over the junk eggs at the store. You can at least ask the farmer right then what they're making. So
yeah. I mean, a pasture raised, that most of them are still they're fed GMO soy.
Yeah,
it says pasture raised, but when you look at Vital Farms, that's a great example. That's probably in our market, that's the most popular egg. They got 3 or 4 different color cartons. You got to know the black pasture raised, but they are fed, supplemental GMO feed. Then there's the brown one that says non-GMO. Now you know that's non-GMO, and then there's another one.
I think just pure organic, or the organic label. Then you're like $680 or $680 for that one.
That's the best one right there. Organic is because that the supplemental feed they're using is certified organic.
Yeah. So do you? Because I love talking. I love talking food, but I like talking people bettering themselves. And your journey is just a fun one, man. I definitely my heart broke for you whenever you were closing down Ritz Fit, but you immediately rebounded to another company. And possibly a better situation for that moment. And just you keep growing and growing in different ways. And I love seeing that. So I like to talk about food, but I like to talk about bettering yourself overall. And in my opinion, it has to start with food for most people, because if your brain doesn't work because it's getting the wrong fuel, you can't get better anywhere else. Yeah. So you're not living your full life. You're not being, who God wants you to be if you're constantly poisoning yourself. So people out there in a time like this, in kind of this lockdown world we're living in, how the heck do you get a Kickstarter going? Is it easier since everyone's on Facebook and Instagram and all these things, or is it harder?
That's hard to determine until the end. We had our own internal goal for this Kickstarter, and we're not going to come close to hitting it. We're not going to be super disappointed. It could be a blessing in disguise when we've never shipped any product yet. We don't want to be stuck with $300,000 of product to ship and never have had any experience doing that. So, I don't really know, to be honest with you, but what I can tell you is that, our thought, we sent an email out and delayed the Kickstarter and then just decided to change our mind like 21 days later or something and just do it. Like, there was just too much negativity, surrounding the coronavirus, to be honest with you. Because whether you like it or not, the media is very difficult to deal with. It just is not fun. And so we knew how much this community wanted this product. Mm-hmm. And this community was getting frustrated. You saw it for a year. We were sharing the product for a year. Mm-hmm. And people just like, where do I get it? And we had only been sending it out to a bunch of big influencers to try to get the marketing going. And we didn't want to hold back anymore. We wanted to bring light to this time period, regardless if somebody was financially unstable and not able to pledge. We know they're going to come and support us at a later time, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But we really wanted to shed some light on our community, and really talk about the really good things that are going on. And so that's why we launched. And it's going well. And man, it's just I always say you got to make decisions really based off of like, is this decision a feel good decision? Like, does it make me feel good? Does it make others feel good? Yeah. And if you can answer yes to both those questions, you should be saying yes and doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming to the realization that I don't have the right to hold back the things I'm good at if they can help other people. It's not, I don't have the right. God gives us these abilities. He gives us something we're good at. And once you understand that, and that's come to light in your mind that like, holy crap, this is a superpower of mine, you better darn well use it, or else like, I don't ever want to get to heaven and be like, and God be like, hey dude, what the heck, man? I gave you this thing that no one else had. You know, like that sucks. I don't ever want to have like anything like that happen. I mean, one guy I don't want to disappoint, right?
Yep. No, so, powerful. Absolutely powerful, dude.
Yeah. So anything you want to leave us with, man? I could talk to you all day, but I know you have a busy day ahead of you.
Yeah, man. No, I like that you bring up the like self-improvement part of it, because it's super important. You know, you're never going to be like, it's really hard to always be satisfied. Like, you know, you can build a $1 million company and then you're going to want to have another, how do I make a $10 million company? And that's how it is. So it is always about like understanding self-awareness and just understanding how to be happy with what you're doing and whatnot. And I think that if I had a tip, is there's one of the best things in life is to be able to teach something that you love doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're able to teach something that you love doing and that person loves learning it and also loves doing it, there's like a lot of stuff going on right there. That sounds simple. It's very hard to get those two to meet, right?
Yeah.
You know, like for me, my business mentor, builds businesses. Now, I mean, I love building businesses, so we can talk for hours and I learned so much from him, and he loves doing that. Secretly, he is selfishly getting. So you really got to find that, and then you can build a business out of it.
Yeah. And I know you love teaching as well, because the different times I've asked you like, hey man, how do I podcast? And you honestly were one of the first guys that was like, if you're not podcasting and you want to, it's your fault. Like, you just need to do it. If you're told, if you got something in your head that says do it and it's a worthwhile thing to talk about, your point of view matters, not somebody else's. Yours does. I don't care if there's 100 other people doing it. So you were always in the back of my head over the last 2 years, me avoiding one. And the whole Corona hit and I decided to start doing this, right? So it's just, you took a half hour, a couple different times and just jumped on with me live. You showed me how to do different things for Facebook. I know you love teaching that, and that's really cool. And I want to understand it. And my brain doesn't yet function on that structural level of organization, and it's going to. So as soon as it starts to work better, you're going to be the guy that I keep reaching out to. I want to show off your page again real fast. So what's the White Oaks page? But if you guys want to support support Carnivore Snax on Kickstarter, you can go to carnivoresnax.com. Just click right here on the reserve your snacks, and you will end up here.
You can scroll all the way down to the bottom. Like, I mean, it's a nice long sales page, educational, yeah. But if you go all the way to the bottom, you can kind of see we have some images that show the pledging. Go up just a little bit further, Keep going. You'll see him. Keep going. You'll run into him. Keep going.
We're getting there.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So like, here's, you know, pick 50. I mean, no, a little bit further up.
A little bit higher. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. I see now.
Yeah. So like there's the options, and you know, obviously the more you get, the cheaper they are, and they're big bags. So
one of my favorite jerkies, it's actually a Yobayo's Drewers biltong. So not biltong, but the Drewers. If you've ever had those, holy cow, man, they are good. They're like those finger snacks that are like this size, but they're super expensive.
$8. Yeah, they're very expensive, and that's what I'm comparing it to. But that was my first interview ever. Was Vion, the owner of Yoba.
Oh, you're kidding! I love those. I've emailed back and forth, but I've never been in contact too much. I tried to get some freebies for a Primal Health Coach getaway that we did one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they gave me a big discount and helped me out that way. But So this is the one I jumped on, this $29 one. I'm probably going to get a pork loin or a ribeye. I'm not sure which. I'm sorry, I have round or pork loin because the $5 extra for package, I'm going to give the ribeye a try. So that's kind of the way I'm gaming the system for you guys. So give myself a little extra sample. So
awesome.
Yeah. And man, this is just, I'm really excited for you. I'm really, really stoked to see what happens. Do you guys have, is it all like, are all the extra bonuses just these kind of things and just the samples, or is there bonuses of getting to hang with you guys or anything like that?
No, we do. We really try to keep it simple. This is my first Kickstarter, so I'm learning a lot, and there's probably some things I would do differently. We're trying to figure out a stretch goal right now. We just want to make sure that we have the right pricing and stuff from our suppliers. So we're introducing lamb, and then actually I have a call after this. Your viewers are going to have the secret insider info here, but I have a call with North Star Bison. So if we can. If the pricing looks good at North Star Bison, then we'll make a package up real quick and we'll put it on the Kickstarter, and then people support it. Like, that's it. It's just an idea. You guys support it, and then we go and we manufacture it.
Heck yeah, man. And so that's exciting. Bison, that'd be really great. Mark, you got a great Instagram page. You have tons of good info on there. Same with Sylvia. She has tons of good info on here. She does a great job at these kind of things, whether she makes them herself or finds them from other things. Her health story, scroll through her Instagram page and learn about her health story, because these right here, that is a flesh-eating bacteria scar. Mm-hmm. What the heck? So
used to be a recovering. What does she have in her profile? Recovered vegan.
Vegan, yeah.
Recovered vegan.
She is. She tries it all and she goes for it and she puts it all out there. So yeah, right here, look at that scar, man. And she's as fit as can be. Yeah. And I know when she was getting healthier, when she was battling that scar tissue, she was all carnivore. And that's very likely a big part of what saved her life. Mm-hmm. She cut out all the things that were hurting her. And then she didn't even work out while she was healing for like a year, and she still stayed fit because carnivore is just an incredible thing for all sorts of issues, guys. And as a health coach, I recommend, I never prescribe, I work for a doctor, I don't prescribe anything. I recommend carnivore as a reset for like a week, 2 weeks, a month. It's just terrific. So if you guys have questions on carnivore, reach out to me or Ritz over here. And man, I'm so grateful to get to chat with you again. And whoop, what am I doing here? There we go. Back to you. So grateful to get to chat with you again, man. And I'll let you go. Anytime, just because I like to know, let me know all the new fun stuff's coming out with you guys. Yeah, man. I always like keeping up with you just to see with Ritz Fit, the new products you're putting out, and with this, with the mushroom guys. I love it. So
absolutely, dude.
All right, stick on for just 1 second. I'm gonna sign off. We'll say bye to each other. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for everything going on today. Or thanks for everybody. Have a great day. Even though all these other things going on, all this other weird stuff in the world, you guys still tune in and say hi. So thanks for that, everybody. Have a good one.